When you're running an online business, there are generally only two levers to pull when it comes to selling your products. You're either launching products or you have products selling in an evergreen fashion around the clock. And the launch model, it's the sexy one. It's the one that gets talked about a lot and taught a lot when it comes to online business. But I'm here to tell you that you will make more money long-term if you build out an evergreen style product business. And it's the evergreen model that's been responsible for the bulk of my revenue in both of my seven-figure online businesses. So in today's episode, what I want to do is share with you the ugly truth of launches, more specifically, 6 ugly truths about launching your products. And hopefully I'll steer you into the evergreen product lifestyle. Let's discuss. Welcome to episode 165 of The Graham Cochran Show, where I'm here to help you build your online business, work less, and live and give more. I'm your host, Graham Cochran. Hope you are doing so well today. Pumped to hang out with you. I just wanted to take a second really quickly to thank you for picking up my book, How to Get Paid for What You Know. If you haven't already picked up a copy of it, it's on sale everywhere books are sold. And you could buy hard copy, Kindle, audiobook, however you crush books, pick it up. It's the most affordable thing I have ever sold or will ever sell, and it could change your life. But I've been loving seeing the pictures of you guys with your books and hearing the feedback from the book. So if you have the book, let me know in a comment below what has been your biggest takeaway of the book and insight so far. So appreciate that. How to Get Paid for What You Know, wherever books are sold. And second of all, I want to give you a gift to really kickstart your business while you wait for your book to arrive in the mail. Or if you already have the book and you really want to turbocharge this thing, I want to give you a 30-day roadmap to making money online, to go from literally where you are today to making your first few $100s in your online business 30 days from now. It's called my 30-day online income jumpstart guide, and it's free. Just go to grahamcochran.com/jumpstart, or if you're watching here on YouTube, I'm going to link to it in the description. It'll give you a 4-week checklist. That's it. It'll tell you what to do this week, next week, the week after, and the week after that, and then you will make money. Pretty simple, really fun. It is a great way to get at this faster if you want to have an accelerated path to making some dollars and figuring out this whole online business thing. So grahamcochran.com/jumpstart to get my 30-day online income jumpstart guide. It's free. It's my gift to you. It's an easy, quick read, just a simple PDF with some steps. All right. Let's talk about launching. We're going to talk about the ugly truth about launching your products. And I have to just make 2 prefaces before I share the 6 ugly truths about launching. Number 1, we have one of the prefaces, there's a reason why I have to do this episode, is that launches in our culture of business and online business have more conversational prestige than, let's say, the evergreen model, which is what I think is the alternative. And that's just because of our society. We live in a society that values ongoing hard work more than it does strategic passive work. So it's easy to see someone doing a big launch and go, wow, look at her. Fantastic. It's a lot easier because we see it, it's tangible, and we respect hard work. It's harder to see the invisible evergreen model that's putting money into her bank account every single day, whether she's working or not. It's really hard for us to see that. So A, we don't notice it, and B, if we saw it, we're just like, I don't know. That can't be true. We understand hard work, do hard work, get good results. That makes more sense to us than have some strategic things in place and then get paid no matter what happens. That's mind blowing. So that's one preface, is we're dealing with this because it's just the society we live in. It just values the big, hard, flashy thing as opposed to the silent, strategic, but dependable thing. Second preface is, just in case you're confused, it's not that I don't launch products or don't incorporate launches into my strategy. Oh, I do. And if you're one of my students, you know this. I teach you how to launch inside of my products. It's just that I don't build my business on the back of launches. which is what most people teach. My business, both of them actually, both of my businesses are built on the back of evergreen sales, product sales that are happening 24/7 inside of my funnel or through some other recurring revenue model, as opposed to launches. I sprinkle launches in. They're the cherry on top, but it's my evergreen products being sold that is the bulk of what I do. So do not hear me that I'm saying I don't do launches, don't believe in launches. I'm a big fan of launches. They have their place. There's a place and time for launches, but it's just that it's not the end all be all. And that's what I'm fighting against, because all my students are like, oh, I want to have a massive launch. I know you do, because that's what you see, and that's what's sexy, and that's what you think will bring you the life that you want, but it won't. So let's talk about that. Ugly truth number one. Launching new products is more exhausting to you, to your team, if you have one, and to your list as compared to the evergreen model. Launches, let's talk about you first, because that's who I care about in this show, is you. I'm your advocate. Who's going to advocate for you or advocate for you? Nobody, but yourself and maybe your friend, and then hopefully me. If you build a business around launches and all you're going to do is launch, and then if that's true, you have to make all your money or the bulk of your money in your launches, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to do it right, to be as active as possible. What used to be a traditional launch where you could drop, like let's take Jeff Walker, for example, right? He's the godfather of launching online products. What used to be like, hey, create 3 pieces of pre-launch content, pre-record it, drop them the week before, have your email scheduled, they launch the week after. Now it's like, well, you got to be going live every day on TikTok and Insta while you're in your launch. And then you've got to be doing a challenge alongside that. You've got to. And so all of a sudden, launches involve today way more activity than ever before. There's a lot of societal pressure on it. Plus, you see everybody else doing it. Plus, there as is internal pressure. I had one of my students in my mastermind, Rebecca. She was talking about a few months ago. She has like 2 big promotions she does a year, and like they have to do $100,000 or more to fill in the gap for her income goals. And she was just talking about all this pressure. And she's like, I've done it before, but what if I don't do it again this time? And I was like, dude, why are you putting so much pressure on yourself to make $100,000 on this launch? What if you could make that $100,000 spread out throughout the year without any effort and you still reached your income goals? Would you prefer that personally? She's like, oh yeah, and there would be no pressure. I don't like the pressure of a launch. It's just exhausting. So yeah, I'm with you. So that's a real thing. So it's exhausting for you in terms of all the work you got to do, and then just the emotional pressure. If you have a team, it's exhausting on your team. If they're the ones putting in all the sales copy, putting in the emails, automating it, responding to all the customer service. When you have a big launch, you have a lot of people, with questions, and then people refunding, and then it becomes a huge influx of work for your customer service team, product delivery team, follow up. It can be exhausting on your team if you have a team. A lot of people don't have a team, but if you have a team, it's a real thing. Like you need to take care of your team after launch because it is exhausting. And then finally, it's exhausting to your list. Launches aren't a bad thing, and I don't mind emailing my people. But if all you do is launch and you need the launches to do well, then you're going to launch well. There's going to be a lot of emails. There's going to be a lot of urgency. And like, this is the week. And that's exciting, and it works. There's a reason why we do it, because it works. Scarcity-driven promotions work. Urgency works. But it's like living in an adrenaline state all the time. That's not good for your people. They will get beat down by it. If you do it every once in a while, it's not a big deal. It really isn't. It's just kind of an exciting event. And if there's no pressure on you for it to perform a certain way, it'll come through in your marketing materials. It won't be like pressure. It won't be this big, like I'm on so many people's email lists and I just see their launches, and it's just like, it feels like pressure as opposed to an invitation. And we're all exhausted from the pressure. It's just exhausting. Whereas the evergreen model, your email funnel, selling your products for you, having recurring revenue products like memberships or group coaching with payment plans or whatever. So much more peaceful because it's different people joining, or it's the same people just getting recharged for the group they're part of. Like, no pressure for anybody. Revenue still comes in. So it's exhausting, number one. Number two, when you're launching, you're putting in everything that you have. You're putting it all into this one selling interaction. Whereas with the Evergreen model, you can experiment, you can tweak as you go and see your success accumulate over time. So hear me out on this. When you launch a product, especially if it's new, we don't know how it's going to go, right? When it's new, you don't know how it's going to go. So you do a launch. It's based off of hopefully research and your intuition. And the product should hopefully be what you think people want and what they're asking for. The positioning should be based around the words they use and what they're saying and what their pain points are and desires are. So you should have a good idea if it's going to convert or not. But you ultimately don't know until you offer it, right? And so it's that moment of, okay, here we go. If it doesn't sell, or even if it does sell, but it only sells a certain amount, you're extrapolating from that one interaction everything about the product. And the problem is you might need to reposition it or try launching in different ways before you can truly understand if it's a good offer, the right price point. It's just hard to gain all the information you need in one launch. Let's say you launch a product and it does something, make some money, make some sales. The only way to know how to make it better is to keep launching, or put it in your funnel and experiment with different things over time. Try some different copy in your sales page, hidden in your funnel. Try some different emails, hidden in your funnel, and watch the conversion rates change up or down, good or bad, over time. Privately, you can fine-tune that offer without any exhausting launches to get it just to where you need it to be. Which leads me to the third ugly truth, which is if you have a bad launch, whatever that metric is for you, then that launch model can lead you to discard an amazing product just because it didn't do as well as you'd like the first time. If you had it in evergreen mode, you could just experiment more with it and then come to find out that it's actually a great product. So what's amazing, and I fall prey to this all the time because of my faulty thinking. I have some broken thinking, which is very much all or nothing, black or white thinking. It's either this or it's either that. So if I've launched something and it doesn't do as well as I'd like, I immediately assume it's a flop. It's not good. I misread the market. Something's off. I'm not curious enough to experiment and say, okay, some of it's probably good. Where did I miss it? Where can I close the gap? Is it just the messaging? Is it just the hook? Is it just the price point? Again, price elasticity is a real thing. Sometimes things sell better when they're more expensive. Sometimes they sell better when they're cheaper, but sometimes it's just the right price for the offer. Sometimes the price isn't the problem. It's just not the way you positioned it. You don't know until you experiment. And I am not a great experimenter. So I've learned this out of the experience of not being a great experimenter. So if you have just a launch model, you launch that product and it doesn't do well as you like, you can be like, man, that was a bust. It may not be a bust. It might be a great product, but you need to experiment with it in other ways. I'll give you an example. I have a product that I launched years ago called Double Your Sales. Phenomenal product. And it's gotten people great results. But hear me out. When I launched it to my list, it was a bomb. According to what my conversion rates should be, right? You're shooting for 0.5% to 1% of your email list to convert on any typical product. And it did way less than that. And the price was very affordable. It was more affordable than a previous course I had launched that did much better. And I was so disappointed. And I thought it was a bust. And then I realized, well, I had a hunch. Maybe it's seemingly positioned too advanced for my people and they still need basic stuff. Can I reuse this course and sell it in a different way? So what I started to do was sell it inside of my membership, my 6-figure coaching community. So what I would do is I increased the price of my membership and bundled in this course. Well, it wasn't one-to-one. I had a target price for my membership anyway, but I wanted to spice it up and sweeten the pot by giving them this course for free as long as they're a paying member of this community. And so I've had so many more people take the course that way and get so many great results and use it as foundational curriculum for them inside of my membership that in a way it's made me so much more money just by repositioning it inside of a different offer. So sometimes you take a product and it's a great product, it's just not the right positioning, pricing, or it's not inside the right offer. I've had other products that I've put inside of bundles that have done so well. For example, I have a product called Total Home Recording on the Recording Revolution side. Had a great launch when I first launched it, and then it really did not sell well in my funnel. Then I experimented with pricing and found a sweet spot with pricing where it sold much better inside of my funnel, which again, experimentation. I learned that through Evergreen selling. But then I experimented yet again and put it inside of a bundle of other products. So people are buying the whole bundle as opposed to just this one product. And maybe they would overlook this one product, but now that they get it inside of the bundle where they're spending more overall, I've had so many people take that course inside of the bundle and get amazing results and give me testimonials for that course, which make it easier for me to sell on its own, but they got it through a bundle. So sometimes you just don't know where the sweet spot is price-wise, positioning-wise, or offer-wise for a product. And if you're just on a launch model and it doesn't go well, you can be like, this is a bad product. It may not be a bad product. It might just need some experimentation, where if you have an evergreen model, you can try a lot of that experimentation behind closed doors. Number 4, the launch model doesn't utilize the benefits of a passive income style business, whereas the evergreen model, by definition, does. This is where we're starting to get into why are you in this business in the first place? And there's a multi-reasons. You're multifaceted in terms of why you signed up to do this thing. Number 1 is you want to make money. So in the early days and weeks and months, maybe even year or two, you're like, dude, I'll put in the work. I just want to make the money. But ultimately, I don't think you just want money. I think you want a lifestyle. And you need money. That's a part of it to afford your lifestyle, right? Inflation, hello. But also you want the flexibility. You want the freedom and the flexibility to work when you want, where you want, how you want, take off when you want, to follow your energy. If you're like exhausted and you need a break, take a break, right? Spoke last week about taking the month of July off for a sabbatical. You want your business to be able to do that. So important. If your business is built around launches, you can't do that kind of stuff. You need to always put in the work, do the launch to make the money. If the majority of your income, let's say 80%, comes from an evergreen funnel that's selling for you 24/7, well, then now you have the ability to take advantage of some of the primary benefits of a passive income style business, which are flexibility and time freedom. So what I don't want you to do is move from working for someone else to just working for yourself, and it's still the same. It's just the name of your boss has changed, and maybe you get to work from home instead of going into an office. What I want you to do is transition into owning and taking full advantage of your benefits as being a passive income style business owner, which is make money whether you're working or not. So Evergreen, having money, products sold in your funnel, gets you there. Related, the launch model, right? It's more intense, it's more flashy. It's what we typically associate with an online business. So that's why we do it, but it also gives us an excuse to work more when we could be just as successful with an evergreen model. So you go from not taking advantage of the benefits of a passive income business because you're launching all the time to almost convincing yourself, well, I just need to put in some more hours. Because I got to launch. It's opening the door for your addiction to work and your addiction to the broken mindset. The more hours I put in, the more money I make. It's opening the back door to that, which is a slippery slope because you'll be sucked right back into, at least in America and in the West, there is this addiction to work that's subtle because we don't like the words addiction and we associate addiction with sexual addiction or drug addiction, things that are very powerful and very devastating. And we minimize work addiction. it's just as dangerous. It's just glamorized and it's seemingly blessed, as okay in our culture. So we let people self-destruct with work addiction because it doesn't seem that bad and it's not illegal, but it's just as devastating. And so when you just have the launch model, you're giving yourself an excuse to just work a bit more. Oh, it's just my launch. I just got to do it. And I'll give you an example. Don't get me wrong, launches are a lot of work. But when you're in launch mode, I remember launching my first course for the Graham Cochran brand, Automatic Income Academy. And I remember getting closer to launch the first time I was going to introduce this product to the public. And I had a long flight to Seattle, and I had some time in a hotel there. I was meeting up with my brother, but I had time on the plane, time in the hotel before he arrived. And I was like, I'm just going to do a little bit of work to finish up my webinar for this launch. I filled the entire flight across the country, 6+ hours, and then another 3 to 4 hours at the hotel that day, just tweaking my webinar and tweaking my sales page. Why? Because there's endless things you could do for a launch. And I remember thinking, I wanted to read a book on the plane. I wanted to catch a movie or just nap. And I just couldn't stop because I was so excited and I wanted it to be perfect. And there is work to be done. It just becomes this door that's cracked open. And all of a sudden you just wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been working like crazy. And the sad funny thing is that I have made so much more money off that product post-launch than I ever did on the launch. Not even using all the stuff I did to get the launch ready. Granted, you have to do some of that stuff. You have to write the sales page. You have to get the product ready. That's one and done work. I get it. But if you build your business around the Evergreen model, you will make so much more money long-term with minimal effort that you won't have this cracked door open of an excuse to work more because you won't need to. It just works. And then this is the final one, the final ugly truth about it. And this is the flip of it. Here's something that you don't hear every day. Launching new products is lazy. It's lazy. Now, if you're a brand new business owner, you need to launch something new at least once a year. In my opinion, this is what I teach for this first few years to build out a product suite. I'm not talking to you. If you're brand new, you need to start launching some products and figure out what's going to be your core product suite. And you're going to want a course or two and a membership and a group coaching program or some high ticket thing or one-on-one coaching. You're going to want your product suite. But who I'm talking to are you owners who are like, ooh, I haven't made some money in a while. I need something new to sell. And you're going to go build something new, launch something new to make money. I have students that do this. I have friends that do this. And they have so many products because they're trying to make up, in effect, they're seeing low income. So what they're trying to do by launching new products is to make up for the fact that you have so few new leads coming in. You don't have enough new people joining your email list to go through your funnel, to buy your Evergreen products, that you think, well, the only way to make money is to launch something new. Warning, this is a deadly trap. I have a friend of mine, and I won't mention his name because it doesn't matter. And some of you know some of the people I've done life with. And I have a friend of mine who had a very successful business. He still does, but he's gone through a little bit of an arc. And in the early days, he was launching new products. He was very experimental, was doing really well. And our businesses were kind of tracking for a while. Then he fell into this trap of just continually creating new products for his list. He had all these new ideas, and he's a classic entrepreneur. New idea, new product. And he had no problem building these products. He liked it. He liked the work, and he was launching new products seemingly every other month and promoting his old products, existing products to his list all the time. And he got to a point where he's like, man, I'm not making any more money. Like his income started to dry up. Where my income kept expanding. I wasn't building new products. I at some point stopped making products while he kept making new ones. Why did my business keep growing and his contracted? Very simple. He stopped creating new content that was discoverable on Google and YouTube that led to people joining his email list. So he had fewer and fewer leads joining his list, hearing about his product. So in essence, he was promoting and launching to the same group of people over and over again. And eventually your conversion rates are going to go down and you're going to wear out your list. There's something called lead decay, that over time your leads are less valuable to you because they're just less interested in you because they've been on your list for a long time. And when they joined is when they were most interested in you. That's why they joined. So maybe they don't have that problem anymore. Maybe they're not as passionate about that thing anymore. That desire has waned, or they got all they needed. When you don't focus on list growth, lead generation, your business will dry up. So this is the dichotomy. Do not try to just launch new products to make money at the expense of using that same amount of energy to create new amazing content that drives leads that could buy your existing products. You can make so much more money off the same old product if you would just grow your list through good content than if you just kept making new flashy products. And I get it. It's more exciting and in a way easier in your heart to just build something new, launch it, sell it. It's way more exciting than it is to show up every single week, make more content that drives leads into your funnel to sell your old course from 4 to 7 years ago. But I promise you the latter will make you more money. I have a little old course called Rethink Mixing. It sold for $97. I don't sell it anymore. I launched it in 2011 and I sunsetted it in 2018. So for 7 years, I sold this course privately in a funnel, made over $1 million off a $97 course. That's not because of launches. I didn't even update the course. That's simply because I focused relentlessly on growing my email list and getting new people in my funnel. And that was the core product that I sold in that funnel. You can make so much more money if you just focus on content. Launching new products won't save your business if in the end you have a broken content strategy. It all comes down to content because content drives leads. Leads drive your business. So those are the ugly truths about launching. What's the alternative, Graham? I've been hinting at it throughout this episode. It's very simple. An evergreen email funnel. I have a ton of content on this, so I won't get into it today. Search my YouTube channel, search the podcast. You need one good, simple evergreen email funnel, a pre-written series of emails that all your new leads go through the moment they join your list, that over-delivers, establishes authority and credibility, adds value, and pitches 1 to 4 or 5 of your products. And there's strategy in how you do this. It's not hard or complicated, but once you write it once and it converts, then all your effort can go to getting new people into your funnel. It's easier, it's more flexible, and it's what allows you to have freedom because your products are being sold, whether you're in the office, launching, or not. So let me know in a comment below if you're watching on YouTube, if you have built your business around a launch model or if you've built it around an evergreen model, and what do you like? What do you prefer? Do you get exhausted with launches? Have you felt any of these things I'm discussing about, I don't know about this product because the launch didn't do well, without actually experimenting behind closed doors? Let me know what your thoughts are in a comment below. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you prefer to launch. Let me know what have you found that helps you sustain that launch model business. And if you want to get started and at least launch your first products, you have something that you can then tweak and in your evergreen funnel, optimize over time, take my 30-day online income Jumpstart. It's a simple 4-week guide to get you from 0 to launching your first product and kickstarting your business. It's free. Just go to grahamcochran.com/jumpstart and check it out. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I'll link to it in the description below. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this is valuable to you. And I cannot wait to see you on another episode real soon.